Over the past 32 years, we've probably given, as a development partner, about $2 billion US. But what's really striking is since Russia's unprovoked war and invasion in Ukraine, we have given about $700 million in US assistance.
When do you think it's best to start learning about money?
Always earlier than we think.
When do kids in USA begin learning about money?
But most children are 5, 6 years old start to learn about money. I think most American high schools make sure that you actually have a course about how to be a good citizen and also how to manage money.
What tips do you have for young Moldovan who want to start a business or maybe invest their money here?
I hope they do. I hope young Moldovans are thinking about business and entrepreneurship. It's a very exciting field. What they need? Mentorship.
Dear ambassadors, thank you for accepting our invitation to our podcast. Your participation means a lot for us. We are grateful.
Thank you for having me. This is such an important initiative, and I'm really glad to know you have a podcast about financial literacy. So thanks for having me.
In our podcast, we discuss a lot about financial literacy. We believe teaching people about money is crucial, especially during uncertain times. When do you think it's best to start learning about money?
That's such a good question. Always earlier than we think. It's really important, I think, for all of us to learn about money, to learn about how to budget, to learn about financial literacy. That's why I'm so glad that we, through USAID, are working with the National Bank to talk about financial literacy, and we've got some tools that we think will help as well.
When do kids in USA begin learning about money?
That's a great question, and it's, I think, changing over time as technology has changed. But most children are 5, 6 years old start to learn about money. That's certainly when I did, when you start to be given a little bit of money and going to a store and buying something. But it's also now part of our growing up years. It's not just about using it yourself, but through our high school period in particular, I think most American high schools make sure that you actually have a course about how to be a good citizen and also how to manage money. And so most schools require a course before you graduate that says you know how to manage. And that just means not only spending and earning, but also how to budget, how to take care of finances, how to think about what a mortgage might look like, or what do you do with a salary. It's kind of funny thinking about it because my children were raised overseas. And so as Americans, they were a little bit behind their peers because they weren't used to dealing with money, and they certainly weren't used to dealing with US dollars. So it was a fun experience for us, and we actually found some games so we could play with them to help them learn about American money, because at the age they came back to the US, they were unfamiliar with money and some of these concepts.
The National Bank of Moldova is about to launch an extensive financial literacy campaign with the help of the USAID Moldova Institutional and Structural Reforms Activity. This cooperation will also lead to the development of the National Financial Literacy Strategy. What do you believe will be the outcomes of these initiatives?
Well, we're very excited about this initiative because it's going to help institute something nationwide that we think Moldova really can benefit from, which is where young people really get to learn about financial literacy from the beginning. And they have all kinds of wonderful interactive ways now to learn about money. It's not just about talking about it or reading from a book. You can do all this in an interactive way. So we think by working with the National Bank of Moldova to set up this national financial literacy campaign, we're going to help all Moldovans, but particularly young Moldovans, get to learn about money, about how to manage money, about how to use money, including online, because so much of financial transactions, so many are now done online. So this is a kind of a doubly important issue, that you need to go online, you need to know how to manage your finances, and you need to know how to manage in everyday life using cash too. So I think it's a great initiative.
Dear Ambassador, in today's world, do you believe that financial literacy is intertwined with possessive digital skills? are your perspective about this?
I think it's actually very much connected to digital skills and what kids are learning today and how much they go online. In fact, I think it's so connected that it can be a little bit dangerous for kids, because when it's all online, it's not real. You're not touching something. You're not touching money. So when I was a kid, we touched money. We knew if I had $1 and I spent it and I got 50 cents back, that was all I had. If you have this online and you just hit a button and you buy something, it's not as if you feel the money. It just goes away. And I can tell you from my own experience with my own children, knowing what that means, that it's online, but it's still real money, is very important for kids to understand that. It's also connected here in Moldova to the great work that Moldovans and frankly the US government through USAID in particular has been helping with the IT sector. The IT sector is very, very important here, as you know. It's something like 7% of GDP now. And I think it was 2022, it's something like 2,000 new jobs, 51% increase. Numbers are staggering. It's great. But those people are also all day long online doing their work, and they need to know about financial literacy too. Very few of us actually receive anymore a piece of paper or actual dollars or lei in a paycheck. We get something into our bank account that just drops mysteriously and magically from the sky into a bank account. So I think it's very important that we all have good online skills to know how to move that money around, how to spend that money, how to save that money, because it's all done on your laptop. It's all done on your computer.
And now very important questions about American experience. What a good idea about money and the finances can Moldova take from the USA?
Well, I think that we've looked at studies and we know that financial literacy levels here aren't as high as they might be. Perhaps they can be better. And I think by having this national campaign, this financial literacy campaign, that's something that we have learned in the US. And that's what I meant when I talked about the high school classes, to ensure that kids throughout, when you learn math, you're using dollars and you're using cents to help you learn your math skills. That's all part of financial literacy. And it culminates in the time you leave high school with your diploma. You've also had some kind of course that talks about how to manage money, how to budget money, what to do when you earn money, how to get a loan. Those things are all really important concepts, and I think that Moldovans are going to benefit from this campaign that the National Bank of Moldova is going to be able to start instituting nationwide.
Now, as part of USAID financial sector transparency activity, the National Bank of Moldova will receive a supervisory tool, which is innovative for entire region, an IT solution for monitoring transactions to detect possible money laundering attempt. What are your expectations for this project?
Well, the expectation is already here because we're very excited about this, and the software has already been implemented and is already being used. I'm very excited that next week we'll be able to launch this officially to the public and explain what's here. But what we've learned in the past decades, and not only about money laundering, but about terrorist financing, is that it's very important to know what the transactions are that are taking place within your financial system. This kind of software, whereas if you try to imagine an individual person trying to scroll through a laptop or something and look at them, you now can use technology to monitor these transactions. And the software can then say, oh, that's a transaction somebody needs to look at. Oh, stop that one. Take a look at this. And oftentimes it's just a flag, but it lets a human then look at this and be very aware of the potential for some kind of wrongdoing in the system. And you mentioned money laundering. That's one that the system will really help with.
Also, with the help of USAID, the KIC solution for remote identification of financial institutions' customers is being developed. How is this going to change doing business in Moldova?
It's already going to change business as people do it here in Moldova. So we know from the software solutions we just talked about, you've got artificial intelligence, you've got machine learning, you've got all these things that are going on. But this new technology is also going to let us as consumers, as regular people, do things online, like open bank accounts. You're not going to have to go stand in a line to get a bank account open. You're not going to have to do a transaction in person. I think back to my own parents. I think about them going to the bank. Everything they had to do was going in person to the bank. But this new technology is going to take, even where we now might have to go to the bank to open an account, but do a lot online, this will put everything online. So think about the number of hours and days that will be saved when you think about individual consumers all the way to businesses that will be able to use this technology to safely and securely open accounts online and do business transactions.
Can you tell us how much support the USA has given Moldova in the 32 years since we became independent?
The United States has been a strong partner, and we've been committed to the Republic of Moldova. And that's in ups and downs. Our relationships have been good and bad in different times, but we have been a steady partner, and we've really wanted to work and support the people of Moldova in your development and your European path. Over the past 32 years, we've probably given, as a development partner, about $2 billion US. But what's really striking is since Russia's unprovoked war and invasion in Ukraine, we have given about $700 million in U.S. assistance. And that's across the board. So that includes everything from energy assistance to work within education and future technologies, to work with supporting the economy, to supporting Moldova's efforts to help refugees and humanitarian assistance, as well as supporting the military conversion into a modern army. So these are all areas that we've been able to work in. And of course, most exciting for our conversation today is this is also funding that is supporting this new campaign here for this national literacy, financial literacy campaign that the U.S. government is proud to be part of.
With inflation going up, multiple economic shocks in the world, and a shortage of energy, how do you think Moldova has been doing?
Moldova's worked very well to look for new sources of energy. Remember, we've got 30 years of essentially dependence on one source of energy from Russia. And this government, with strong support from development partners, including the U.S. government, have worked hard to help Moldova diversify away from one source of energy and to also find ways to seek new kinds of energy, including renewable. So we're working very, very, very diligently together, and we think Moldova is making great progress in a very short amount of time.
Moldova stands as a candidate of EU membership. What are the anticipation regarding the progress of this integration process?
The United States government stands 100% behind Moldova's aspirations to become a member of the European Union and to stay a member of the West and, as the President often says here, a part of the free world. We're going to do everything possible through our assistance programs to find ways to support Moldova's aspirations and the hard work that it takes to align with European Union policies and the work that's being done right now. We're not a member of the European Union, so we won't have a vote, but you can count on our support. We'll continue to raise that with our counterparts in Brussels and in individual capitals, supporting what we think is Moldova's appropriate place as part of the European Union.
Moldova requires both resources and partners to tackle its challenges effectively. Can you rely on your sustained assistance as we navigate these obstacles, these challenges?
Yes, yes, you can. The United States, as I mentioned, has been with you for 32 years. We're going to continue to be with you. We find the government of Moldova, the people of Moldova, to be incredible partners. We've worked together in so many different areas and made a lot of progress, and we expect to continue to do that in the years ahead.
We have in this podcast Blitz interview.
Oh, that sounds difficult.
Okay.
It's okay.
Okay. What does the U.S. ambassador to Moldova do?
My job every day is twofold. One, I represent the United States government and our policies formally to the government of the Republic of Moldova. And so we have official government-to-government discussions. But more interesting, and I think a lot more fun, is the engagement that I get to have every day working with Moldovans, working with Americans to support the bilateral relationship. We want to have a strong relationship, an ever stronger relationship, I should say, between Americans, between Moldovans. We spend a lot of time trying to reach out to people to learn more about this wonderful country, to experience this wonderful country, including in culinary and cultural ways, as well as all the great work that we do together as partners.
Now, what do you perceive it, as the key contribution of USA to advancing Moldova's financial system?
I think this program is one of those, this National Financial Literacy Program. I was very excited these past few years. We've had America Days, and we've had the National Bank and our partners out there working with young people, giving quizzes and watching kids get very excited about financial literacy. So that's one of the exciting ways we're helping.
Which Moldovan export hold a potential for accessing the US market?
There are so many wonderful exports here, but where we see some real potential and where we see actual real achievements already, I talk about wine, I think about stone fruits, I think about fabrics and apparel and fashion, and I think about, of course, IT, as I mentioned. All of those are doing extremely well. Young Moldovans are finding careers and getting excited about those areas, and you are exporting world-class products to the European Union, to your neighbors, and we're excited to see more of those go to the United States.
What advice do you have for Americans who want to invest in Moldova?
Americans who want to invest in Moldova are most welcome. The United States Embassy is here to help wherever we can. The American Chamber of Commerce is here to help. I think what most companies need to do is always do your homework. They need to figure out what the rules and regulations are and how best to make their investment work here.
What should Moldova do to take more people who want to invest here?
I think Moldova and this government are thinking very hard about how to attract investors, and they're trying to come up with the very best climate and regulatory framework, business climate, I should say, and regulatory framework that will be attractive to foreign investors. There have been a lot of challenges, as we know, over the past years to the economy here, and I've been very heartened to see so many investors stay here and stick it out. So to attract new investors, it's going to be important for them to know the market, to learn about the market. The U.S. government and the American Chamber of Commerce could help.
And last question, the ambassador. What tips do you have for young Moldovan who want to start a business or maybe invest their money here?
I hope they do. I hope young Moldovans are thinking about business and entrepreneurship. It's a very exciting field. What they need? Mentorship. There's so many great people who've done it, who've managed, who figured out ways to start businesses. Some of the most wonderful and inspirational people that I have met here in the past year and a half in the Republic of Moldova are business people, people who had an idea and passion for what they wanted to do. And they got a little help. And sometimes that was from the U.S. government via USAID. Sometimes it was from other friends of mentors, other development partners, other Moldovans who they knew. So mentorship and real support is necessary. Of course, financial help and all those things are necessary, but find a mentor, find someone to help you.
The ambassador, thank you.
Thank you. It's great to see you again.
De ce Moldova se împrumută de la FMI?
Ne ajută să utilizăm acești bani eficient și să ne dezvoltăm ca țară.
Care a fost cea mai mare provocare?
Mandatul unui guvernator este plin de provocări.
Banii ținuți la saltea sunt mâncați de inflație.
Banul care stă la saltea rămâne în urma acestei creșteri de prețuri. Deci e bine să fie pus măcar la un depozit. Cea mai bună investiție oricum rămâne în educație.
Moneda națională împlinește 30 de ani.
Avem suficiente rezerve și valutare și rezerve în bănci avem. Deci eu nu văd probleme pentru sănătatea leului moldovenesc.
Ce viitor are criptomoneda?
Pentru mine, dă sens banilor înseamnă direcția spre o lume foarte frumoasă.
Când în Moldova se va putea investi la bursă?
Este important ca să ajungem la un punct de dezvoltare și să zicem că da, este în creșterea această dezvoltare și ne mișcăm înainte.
E VMS un instrument de investiție pentru cetățeni sau doar pentru stat, Ministerul Finanțelor?
Este un instrument pentru cetățeni și pentru întreprinderi, bineînțeles. Practic, consider unul cel mai sigur.
Este indicat de investit în criptomonede?
Adică acest instrument chiar nu are la spate absolut nimic.
Mai ales unde se va ajunge. E un mare, mare semn de întrebare.
Asta este răspunsul clasic în privința criptovalutelor și atunci îl zic și eu, bineînțeles, că implică un risc foarte mare.
Cum se explică tendința de a se investi în aur și este asta o opțiune?
Să evităm să avem credite cu dobânzi foarte mari. E foarte riscant, poate deveni un rolling credit. Să evităm să credem la tot ce auzim în jurul nostru, să ne amintim că în momentul în care cineva ne propune sau cineva ne spune că avem posibilitatea de a face foarte mulți bani pe un timp foarte scurt, probabil asta înseamnă și riscuri foarte mari. Educația financiară aș spune că e mai importantă acum decât oricând. 130 de țări lucrează sau sunt interesate pe aceste domenii și la nivel internațional cam 75 de țări au dezvoltat strategii de educație financiară.
3 obiective pentru viitorul educației financiare.
Fiecare copil să aibă acces la educație financiară în școli, fiecare țară să aibă o strategie de educație financiară și alfabetizarea financiară să crească la un nivel ridicat.
Ce procent v-ar mulțumi?
100%.
Când vom avea în Republica Moldova o încredere în asigurări ca în Occident?
Ceea ce ne dorim noi este că încrederea aceasta să crească, să existe o diversificare a produselor.
Când oamenii își vor putea asigura nu doar mașinile, dar și casele, afacerile, unele părți ale corpului, sportivii fac de obicei asta.
Casele și acum pot fi asigurate. Părțile corpului e o chestie interesantă, nu știu dacă există cereri la moment.
Cum îți alegi compania?
Bine, haideți eu să zic cum aș alege eu.
La ce atragi atenția când ai hârtia în față?
Cred că trebuie să atragi atenția la tot.
În perspectivă, cetățeanul să se aștepte ca dobânzile să fie mai mari sau mai mici?
Trendul este de descreștere, dobânzile scad.
Rată fixă sau flotantă?
Cel mai important cu ce noi ocupăm acum este instant payment. Scopul este că în februarie 2024 va fi lansat sistemul și în Moldova. Noi vrem să obținem posibilitatea să transfer banii prin telefon mobil, asta e mai sigur, nu introduceți numărul de card, este numai număr mobil și banii obțin în 10 secunde.
Să concluzionăm, ce obțin cetățenii?
Plăți instante când banii ajung la cont la 10 secunde, comisiunea va fi 0, puteți să veniți la piața centrală și scanați un QR cod și plătiți prin telefon mobil.
La
fără
piața
cash.
centrală.
La piața centrală. Nice.
Ce obțin antreprenorii?
Dacă viteza în economie de bani sunt mai mari, înseamnă și economie pot lucrează mai eficient. Eu vin fiecare săptămână la kiosc cu legume și fructe, vreau să plătesc non-cash, nu pot. Nu e ok. Dar am un vis.
Very clear forward look. Moldova is determined to achieve the goal to become a full and reliable member of the European Union. You need a good road network. You need a good railway system. You need access to ports, functioning airport, right? It's not going to be easy. It will be difficult, but that can be done. And I think we, as well as other development partners, are absolutely committed to stand by Moldova on this journey.
What is World Bank?
Major development partner in Moldova.
Why does the World Bank have a partnership with Republic of Moldova?
Because we strongly believe in Moldova's development.
3 things that would attract investments in the economy of the Republic of Moldova.
Favorable and stable business environment, infrastructure development, skilled workforce.
3 economic areas of perspective.
Agriculture. Look, not many countries have better agriculture products that Moldova has.
3 main problems to eliminate for a better business environment.
Corruption, bureaucracy, how Moldova can achieve the European living standard within a generation.
La ce servesc economiștii?
Economiștii ne ajută să nu cheltuim nesăbuit și sigur că împreună cu inginerii trebuie să dezvolte afaceri profitabile.
3 probleme majore ale economiei mondiale. Care ar fi?
Dacă o luăm în ordine, ar fi criza alimentară, energetică, militară, aș mai zice și schimbările climatice.
3 probleme majore ale învățământului economic.
Este o subfinanțare a învățământului în general și în special a celui economic.
Dacă într-un guvern sunt economiști buni, lucrul acesta se simte? Cum credeți?
Un guvern nu poate să existe fără economiști.
Ce sfaturi ați avea pentru stat și pentru cetățeni?
Pentru stat poate ar fi bine să găsim soluții să finanțăm mult mai bine pe copiii care vin din mediul rural. Pentru cetățeni trebuie să te iubească ca o familie, înțeleagă, pentru că e o perioadă grea, foarte grea, să-i ajute cu absolut tot ce au posibil.
Să ne uităm în viitor și să răspundem la întrebarea ce urmează.
Eu sunt încrezător.
How would you rate Moldova's financial system?
Stable, capable to finance what it needs to finance, well supervised.
How is the capital market performing?
It is underdeveloped. We will look into it even further in the future together with the other donors.
What export capacity does the country have to the EU?
The country has the export capacity to the EU.
Why does the National Bank of Moldova need independence?
If you want to have higher welfare of citizens, meaning with higher growth, with better employment, you need to have stable inflation. And this is done if you have an independent central bank.
What can Moldova do to attract the foreign investments?
Moldova is a very well placed, it's close to the EU, but in order to fully benefit from that, we need to ensure that there are certain reforms in the business environment. Think positively. I think better times are coming.
Cursul oficial este, de fapt, oglinda pieței.
Cetățeanul, când intră pe site-ul Băncii Naționale și vede un curs anumit, ce trebuie el să înțeleagă? Ce este asta?
El trebuie să înțeleagă că acest curs este rata pe care băncile licențiate îl tranzacționează cu clienții săi în ziua respectivă, de fapt în ziua precedentă. Însă este important de menționat că ratele pe care Banca Națională le publică sunt doar niște rate informative utilizate în scopuri contabile. Ele nu reprezintă un reper pentru tranzacții reale.
Deci un cetățean, dacă îi se pornește să caute în piață acest curs pentru anumite tranzacții de schimb, face greșit.
El ar putea să găsească un curs similar, dar asta este influențată nu de rata oficială propriu-zis, dar de nivelul pieței sau de cum percepe piața, la ce nivel se tranzacționează o anumită rată în o anumită zi.
Națională a Moldovei nu stabilește cursul leului. Banca Națională a Moldovei ce face?
Îl calculează. Îl fixează în baza tranzacțiilor reale din piață.
Ce factori au totuși o influență asupra cursului din piață?
Iarna, când consumul de energie în general crește, este o cerere sporită de valută. Aceasta de regulă duce la o depreciere a cursului. Deoarece crește cererea, cresc prețurile. În categoria celor factori sezonieri care influențează în apreciere, am putea vedea exporturile, de exemplu exportul de produse cerealiere în vara-toamna anului sau perioadele de vacanță, când remitențele cresc. Atunci avem o ofertă sporită de valută și de regulă în aceste perioade se poate observa o apreciere a cursului. Dacă să vorbim despre factorii non-economici, crize, mini-crize, vorbim de criza COVID, de războiul din Ucraina, criza energetică, cam acești factori, cam toți s-au creat la anumite etape în ultimii 3-4 ani deficit sau cerere sporită de valută. Respectiv, vedem și o traiectorie mai spre deprecierea cursului.
Unii s-au mirat că nu a fost deprecierea mai mare.
Noi suntem mulțumiți de faptul că instrumentele aplicate de Banca Națională ne-au permis să nu admitem fluctuații excesive a cursului. Respectiv, nivelul rezervelor pe care îl deține Banca Națională a demonstrat că este adecvat și ne poate ajuta în situații de criză.
Ce sunt rezervele valutare?
În cazul nostru, active investite în practic cele mai sigure instrumente din piață.
Ce comportament al cetățenilor în raport cu banii lor ar fi astăzi indicat? Să cheltuie sau să economisească?
Important ca populația să acționeze prudent și să-și facă economii.
În ce valută?
Gestionarea așa numitul risc valutar, să facem economii în valuta în care să-i cheltuim pe viitor.
Cetățenii ar trebui să se îngrijoreze?
Nu.